What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now today we are going to be looking at a lot of people's new favorite Pokemon, Toxtricity. Now, in my opinion, I think it should have been Toxicity. It just rolls off the tongue better for me, but oh well. This is Toxtricity, and he is a cool new boy. I really like this mon. Its design is awesome. Both of its forms. It gets 2 new forms, and it's really, really cool. So let's start by looking at its stats. And so looking at his stats, you can see they're really not all that great, to be honest. Like, his stats aren't anything exceptional. Base 114 special attack is pretty good, but 75 speed's kind of slow. 75 HP and 70 defenses is really frail. 98 attack is low as well. So why is this thing good? And you also look at his typing. Good offensively, but you're 4 times weak to ground. I mean, that's kind of bad. So what makes this thing good? Well, first of all, its ability. Punk Rock. It is a new ability for this mon specifically, and it boosts your sound type moves by 1.5 times. So basically a choice specs on all of your sound moves. In addition, you also take half damage from sound moves on yourself. So that's pretty cool too. Sylveons are in the tier, not that they're going to want to mess with this, but you also have a lot of other sound move users. Things like Como that is now in the OU tier, that uses sound moves, and you're going to be taking half damage from that, and you can deal a lot of damage back to him with Boom Burst. But so yeah, this really helps out Toxtricity and makes him a lot more viable. In addition, he can use the item Throat Spray. Now, we did look at this set and how Throat Spray really works with Toxtricity really well in our competitive item guide, which went up a while back. If you haven't seen that, that'll be up in the iCard above. But basically, it raises your special attack by 1 stage if you use a sound move. So not only is he getting his sound moves boosted from Punk Rock, then he also gets his special attack boosted from Throat Spray. And so he starts to get really, really strong really, really quickly with all of these things starting to stack up. In addition, the amped up form gets shift gear, so he can double his speed. Now, it also is a attack bonus, but we are not going to use that. We're just here for the speed bonus. And so this thing just starts sweeping once you get a shift gear up. Now, one thing you do have to keep in mind about this mon specifically, I do want to warn you about this if you are breeding one. So it has 2 forms, right? It has the amped form, as you see on the left, and the low-key form on the right. The amped form gets access to shift gear. The low-key form does not. It gets, I believe it's Eerie Impulse? Magnetic Flux, that's what it is. So at level 52, this gets shift gear, and low-key gets Magnetic Flux. We are not going to be using Magnetic Flux at all. That move is basically useless. But yeah, so we are going to be using the amped up form for this set specifically. Any set that doesn't have shift gear on it, then it doesn't matter which set. That's the only move that matters. So notice that a timid nature is what is required to get a low-key form, and then all of these others are amped up form. So what you're going to have to do is breed one that has one of these abilities, or one of these natures rather, and then give it a mint that will change it to be timid. Now, if you participated in the ladder last season and you did single battles or double battles, you should have gotten rewards for participating in that season. One of those rewards was a Jolly and a Timid mint. So you could use that, or you could go out and get one with battle points that anybody can get just by doing the battle tower, or by, like I said, doing the battle stadium. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. If you need a timid one, but you need it amped up, make sure you breed it to have one of these, and then change it later with a mint. So yeah, that is going to be the shift gear set. Very strong, very standard. You'll see this set all the time. A little bit less standard, but still really good, is a spec set. Now, I really like this set because it gives you the ability to run Volt Switch. And Volt Switch is really great for being able to pivot in and around things that may want to switch in and counter you early in the game. Now, Volt Switch helps you obviously against things that are not ground types. So obviously Excadrill can switch into this very easily. But as long as there is not a ground type running around, you can go for Volt Switch pretty safely and get out of there, and then bring this in late in the game and go for things like Overdrive, Sludge Wave, Boom Burst, and start really chunking things at the end of the battle. But at the beginning, you get the option to Volt Switch and pick an appropriate counter, and it's all boosted by specs. And then once you start going for these, you get specs and Punk Rock starting to stack. You're going to be doing some major damage. So, and another thing I like about this is you have the immediate damage rather than having to wait for Throat Spray to activate. However, you then do not get the ability to switch moves. So that is the downside to this, but obviously you can choose this set if you like that kind of flexibility. So another set that I really like for this is the Nuzzle set. Now, Nuzzle is going to be a really odd move to run on this, but you are able to paralyze your opponent. So not only is this good for you, but it's also good for the rest of your team. It allows you to not only slow this down for while you're dealing with it, and your mediocre speed right here really appreciates things being slowed down, but then you can also bring in something after this that may not be the fastest, and you can take it down using that. So this helps to give your team a little bit of support, where this Mon wouldn't have been much of a team player otherwise. It's usually a one-man show, but this allows it to help out its teammates a lot more. So that is something that's really cool. We talked about being a team player with paralysis in the Cramorant episode. If you haven't seen that went up a couple of days ago, so make sure that you check out that video as well. All right, finally, we are going to be looking at our meme. Of course, there's always a meme on this channel. Everyone, I try to find a meme, and this one was a little tough, just because he is kind of limited with his usable moves on the special side. He gets a lot of really good physical moves, and if you look at all these moves, most of them are physical. And so yeah, he's got a good move pool, but they're all not helpful. But so what I came up with here was Charge. So yeah, obviously it's not super crazy, but Charge is going to allow you to boost your special defense, and that's what I think is really important. In addition to that, your Overdrive is going to be doing double damage next turn. Then you go for Throat Spray, and then you can go for Charge again, or you can just keep firing off everything like this, but you are boosting your special defense, which is making you a little bit bulkier, which is really nice on a Mon that is pretty frail as is. You may live a hit that you wouldn't have otherwise, and then be able to get off a big hit on something that would have killed you otherwise. So I think there's use for it, very situationally, but I think that it could work. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Tomorrow we will be looking at another episode of Taking Him Down, and I hope you guys are liking that series as well. We started with number 1 last week, and we are hitting number 2 this week, and working our way down the top 10, and then we will look at some other stuff after that. But yeah, anyway, we are going to wrap it up right there. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.